you, Annie.
Don't splash that.
Is it?
Brandon. Brandon.
Brandon's mommy. Brandon's mommy. We're on TV. Hey, Scott, you like your buzz? Look at it.
Hi.
I get it like this, Gary. What I don't know, right here looks funny.
I haven't decided for sure if I want to cut it like short right here in the front.
Have Scott look at it and tell you how he wants it. Have fun, Dad. Looks funny,
Terry, down there in that red bucket's my WD-40. Go get that for me.
Let Scott look at it. Is Dad trying to make it be a mohawk? Looks like it.
Let Scott look at it and Mommy look at it before I do much more.
Emily is sleeping over tonight.
No.
No, Emily's kissing over tonight. No, Emily's squeezing cheeks tonight. No, Emily's kissing over tonight. Hey, don't get my underwear. Hey, let's go. Hey, get my hair back. Get my
This is a cup of Kool-Aid.
It's all mine, and I was thinking,
That is a
you just ruined it. Mom, get Scott.
Being way too jerky. And girls, don't put your hand in front of it. Here goes your hair.
Brandon's gonna get mohawk. Dad, yeah, let Brandon have the mohawk.
Quit running.
Mouth. Ever step the town? You're missing. Oh, Brandon's getting a mohawk.
I say we're going to stay. We're going to live a long time, and we're going to be thankful.
Yeah.
Right?
You should have got Kristen crawling. Ew. Stephanie. Papa. Top clipping up and all the rest cut off. I'm gonna throw it.
Good. Get the others.
Oh, no, why don't you turn it off and look at this now and tell me what you think.
quarter,
That
thank you.
hurt?
Don't
Try
jerk.
to take. I wouldn't take that big one. Did you see that?
Brad, your hair's gone.
What are you doing?
I'm having salvage for my body.
Do it again. Well, I take as much as I can. Because if you get tired,
Now go
all
look at the
most you
mirror.
have to do is just drop it.
Look in the mirror. You might want to turn it off while you walk around. It'll be better. There's your hair. You like your haircut?
I'm naturally curly hair.
You like it, Buzzy?
Let's do it, Tammy.
Brennan.
Brad, look at mommy.
Brandon, there's Mommy. Hi, Mommy. Okay, Mommy, you can turn it off.
Hey, let's go show Brandon himself. Is this far enough?
Yeah. You can say stuff.
Hi.
Okay, why don't you do some gymnastics, Becky?
I'll do my routine, except for not my backyard routine. Thank you for this side, Mom. When this will die, Mom? When this will die? When my ear, Becky, in my ear. Okay, Becky? In my ear. Okay, Becky? Becky, long way. Here. Look, look. Okay, Brandu. Brandu, a forward roll. Let's do a forward roll, okay? Do a forward roll. Come on, Brandon. Brandon. Do a forward roll. Come on, Brandon. Push. Come. Push. Oh. Come on, Brandon. You can do it. Do handstand. No, you're letting him do it. Come here, let's do a handstand, Brandon. Brandon, help him do a handstand. Brandon, do a forward roll. Do a forward roll. Try a forward roll. Do a forward roll. 1, 2, 3. Go, do a forward roll. Move, Vic, move. Let Brandon show the camera. Come on, get over. Come on, push.
Yay!
Let's do a handstand. Okay, Brandon, you help him. On your mark. Sit. Go. Go do a forward roll. Ah! No. Not it. He's doing headstand. Other headstand. See how long you can hold it. Back, move. Move out of the way. Okay. Whoa, that was fun. Wow, there's no one. It's my sister. Hi.
Bye.
Mommy, I look it. Hi here. Mama, I am my sister. Okay. Fine. Brandon, want to hold this? Yeah. Hold this. Hold it. Hold this.
They were up on the couch.
Yeah.
They were up on the couch.
What?
Stand like a gymnast.
My ribbons will fall off.
Okay, Kristen, do one of your routines.
Which one?
And Becky did. I did the floor. I'll do. Okay. I gotta take this off. That close my.
My silver
Hold
medal.
these.
Should I take off my shorts?
I did. Okay, Mom, get me. That's
Kristen,
mine.
gold medal,
Silver.
presented to me.
Okay. Oh, here. That ain't help me. One. This one's wet now. Okay. Put this one in your mouth. Hold this one. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it right down. Make sure you don't let go now.
Presenting Becky's ribbons and Kristen's gold medal. Silver medal, I mean. Don't hit me for that.
No.
Brian, smile at the camera. Brian, smile at the camera. Look up, look this go.
And you.
Here, I'll hold the trophies for you.
Okay, you get on this side. No,
Okay.
There. I'm
There.
gone.
Slow down and go about half that fast.
They're over here. Brandon. We gave at the office.
You're learning, dear. Roddy been out in the car yet, has he?
Mm-mm.
All set to go. Highway.
You're certainly going to get some laughs when you take this one.
You're back.
Becky. Daddy can get mad.
Scott!
Gary, catch him. You stay in the middle of the catch him. You don't have to catch me. You don't have to catch me.
That'll be good, so they don't have to go.
Scott can get down by himself.
No, grab him.
Are they all down there?
Somebody grab him.
I got him. Hey, we got him.
Well, Rhonda, we figured out how to make more room in the car. Let's put the lid back on it. Stop, let me show. Just a minute. Did you get scared? Okay, Tiffany. Tiffany's next. We'll move out the way now. Mom's taking pictures.
That is so funny.
Brandon, stay back so Daddy can get everybody out, honey.
My dad, Mom, that's so fun.
Oh, yeah.
That,
Grandpa, you got a hose to hose these guys. Tiffany, move. You got a hose?
Like the hose, yeah.
Kristen, grab one of the seashells. They're right there.
Where?
Right there on the side.
I can't find them.
Move out the way.
Oh, I can't round.
Give me the
They're
flashlight. Give me the flashlight. You almost broke it.
Oh. That is cool down there. Dad, we are Dad, the rescuer.
Now let's close it.
Yeah, let's close it. Gary wants to be closing it. What? Don't do the bad guy. Daddy, Dad, the rescuer! Yay!
Hey, guys, here's the seashells.
I can't see it. Yeah.
Get me at work.
Here, get Mom.
Got recorded in there.
Dad started putting this cover on.
Mom, there's all that. There's only this left. You want to hold it? No. He'll give Dad to all of it on except for that one.
I bet you were some of the first people to be there.
Well, the dogs should go on.
This is where the house used to be, where Rhonda grew up. They tore the house down, built this building. This is the street. Back there you can see the railroad tracks.
Take Grandpa. Take Grandpa.
What? Yeah. Hey, come on. Okay.
Yeah. I know this stuff wasn't. This stuff.
No, that wasn't good.
You might be swinging the same swing your mother's swinging before. Gary, you might be swinging the same swing your mother's swinging.
Mom, what's this?
Said you felt that on my son.
Hey, Mom!
Look at it.
Mom, look!
Rhonda's junior high.
This is Rhonda's junior. Oh, quick now, come on.
Daddy's taking your picture.
Daddy, Mommy, a kitty's come back.
Hey, turn around.
There's a kitty. There's a kitty, Mom.
Brennan, look at the door. Look at the door so Daddy can see your back, honey. No, yeah. Oh.
Let me see your back, Brandon. Let me see all your chicken pox.
Here, turn around there. So, is that good?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to turn him a little more?
It's done, Daddy. It's done, Dad. Done, Dad.
Okay, turn around again. Look, he's getting in first.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't had chicken pox, you shouldn't come around.
Chicken pox. Yeah, I got one.
Okay, you guys probably better go home now because they're going to come in the house. So you guys go. No, we're going to go to the house.
Okay, let me see your back. Oh, move your hair a little bit. Okay, let me see your front again.
She doesn't have them as bad as he does, does she? No.
Which one's your favorite chicken pox?
Oh boy, you're getting a picture of her.
Which one's your
I
favorite?
don't know. Hey, Daddy.
Okay, that's probably good enough.
This is the hospital where Rhonda was born. This is in Kirtland, Ohio, the Whitney store, where we just watched a film. Right up here's our guide that's going to take us on a short tour.
Yes, you just step back into history. 150
You sure
years.
do. This is wonderful.
They've done a real super job of restoring this.
She said, don't touch anything.
Oh.
Oh, you can touch the counter. It's just the little antique things, you know, and delicate things that they don't.
Now, what was this for? Oh, that's corn, isn't it?
That's a very unique way of getting checkers that wouldn't cost you anything. But it,
Oh, that's what they use for checkers?
the corn.
Oh, that's pretty neat. Watch.
The restoration that's hanging in the center, if you go back over and you can see it. Most of the time it's so, doesn't show up, so you can get them then, or you know, to copy them, old things, because they want the things in the store to be new ones, of course.
What they do, go mostly with the journals of the brothers?
Yes.
To get all the information?
Actually, what they had was you can come right on down through
All kind of furs in here, wasn't there? Cider barrel?
Fur traders would bring in their furs and trade for their supplies. And this shows you things that they would bring in, and the clerk would, that'd be his little office, and he'd stand there and record all the transactions that took place during the day, the end of the day account book. So the things that they could do, they would make, and then they would bring in for things that they needed. Brown sugar would be shipped to the store in a big barrel like this. And they'd open it up, and it'd be hard as a rock. And they would grind this down through the brown sugar, loosen it up so that they could sell it for a pound. Wish sometimes you had one of them.
Yes.
And they had their own sausage maker. They could stuff their sausages. This is authentic. And they could grind their own meat, the meat grinder. Cheese would come shipped in a big 50-pound block. So you had to have a pretty good sized cheese cutter cut through that block. And let's see, wherever you find their stoves or their fireplaces, you'll see herbs hanging to dry. That was their way of preserving their foods. Paper, they had paper, they couldn't fold it like we can our paper today. It had to be rolled in the tube. That carrier in the corner on top of the desk is the way they would have to take care of, you know, several in a kitchen.
I think that's how it originally was.
That's the original foundation down there.
Is that the real barrels that they had?
So like the gracious lady she was, I'm sure she spent a lot of hours in this kitchen. She was only here, of course, for 18 months, but she would have to prepare food and do a lot of entertaining and supplying meals to the many people that would come to her. And that's where she would put the dough the night before. She'd mix it up, put it in a bowl, and put it inside there. And that would keep it warm, you know. They'd let it raise over all night, and they'd build a fire in here the night before. And that goes back in there about 4 feet. And they'd let it burn all night long. In the morning, they'd rake out the coals and put the bread in there. They said if you could stick your arm in there and then count to about 12, and it got good and warm, you'd know you had a hot enough oven to bake your bread. Oh. I don't know if I want to stick my arm in. You heard the story about the rope springs?
No.
Well, the rope would stretch after sleeping on them for several nights. The ropes would stretch, and you know where everybody would end, they'd be right in the middle of the bed. So it was time to take out the wrench that they had and tighten up the rope. so that they'd give us support, and then they could go to bed and sleep tight. They'd tighten the rope so that they'd be tight, they could go to bed and sleep tight. So this bed is called a cannonball bed because of the round balls at the top of the pedestal this here. This has a real unique feature to it. You can wrap a quilt around this, and in the middle of the night, if you got cold, just reach down and pull the quilt off. You wouldn't have to get out of bed and walk across the cold floor to get a quilt. They had a lot of really good ideas. Put new flooring downstairs, and that could be saved, they brought it upstairs and replaced it with some of it that was up here that had to be replaced. And they had 2 rooms up here that had to be, the whole floor had to be replaced.
Oh, was it? That's nice having some original.
Yes,
That really brings the history out.
Yes, it does. That's called a hard hams bed. But the only good idea about that bed that he could glad to get out of bed and go to work. My school brother climbed up over the top. It's fine. This is the parlor. Of course, this is where they would come to spend time with their family. The prophet always spent as much time as he possibly could with his family. He was very conscientious about that. The desk you see over there against the wall is like the desk the prophet used. And his original desk is on the 3rd floor of the temple. I'm not sure if you've been into the temple or not, but it's up on the 3rd floor. The table is on loan to us from the Western Reserve Historical Society, and they indicate it's the table that the prophet used when he was here. So that makes this real special. Yes. But when the Lord gave the prophet instructions about the school of the prophets, he told him it would be a holy place, of course, holy unto the Lord, a sanctuary, and a place for learning. And at first, spiritual things would be taught, and then, of course, later on, they taught sciences and languages, geography, and many things were introduced and they would learn. But the men were instructed to come freshly bathed and clothed, and they had to greet the teacher at the door with a salutation, repeating after him, stating their worthiness to come into the room. And the teacher was to come before the men arrived and kneel in prayer to the Lord, and then arise from his feet and greet the men. And of course, when the school first started, the prophet was the teacher. And he would come early before the men arrived and greet the men, bring them in, and then he introduced the washing of the feet. That ordinance took place here. That sacred service took place here, the same as it did when the Savior was here on the earth. So that makes it a real, real special place. But they would smoke, they would chew tobacco, they had spittoons, but sometimes they would miss, and it would go on the floor. His wife would have to clean it up, and I don't think that she enjoyed that job very much, do you? It would be a dirty, filthy mess, wouldn't it?
According to read the history, she didn't, because she complained a lot about that.
She complained to her husband about it. The prophet would come into the room and it would cloud of smoke. So he decided to go to the Lord in prayer. He left the room, and when he returned, he had a paper in his hand, and he read to the men the word of wisdom that we know it today. It's recorded in the 89th section of the Doctrine and Covenants. Many of the men laid aside their pipes. It's stated in some of their journals that some of them even tossed their pipes into the fireplace. So it's interesting to know the caliber of men that were here that day. The prophet promised the men that if they would prepare themselves, that they could have a spiritual experience. And it happened. One day while they were praying, Zebedee Coultrin personage crossed the room, and the prophet asked him, "What do you see?" And before anyone could answer, the prophet answered his own question. "You see Jesus, our elder brother." And again, Zebedee saw a personage in the room, but the light was so bright, he thought it was going to consume them, and it faded. And the prophet asked again, "What did you see?" And before anyone could answer again, he answered his own question. "You see God, the Father of Jesus Christ." So my young friends, and your grandparents and your parents, you're sitting in a room where God the Father and Jesus Christ have appeared. Right here in this room. I know it to be true. I don't have any doubts at all. Revelation from God is a reality. God has always revealed His will to His prophets here on the earth. And we read about many of them in the Bible. But He also reveals His will to us. And He did to Nephi in the days when they were on the American continent. And recorded in that great book is the story about the Savior.
Mommy,
Brandon, go over there. Let him, just have him go out there. Want me to take him over there and then I'll run out of the way?
Here, Brandon. Look, there's the headlight.
Here we go.
Do you want us to leave ya?
This is where we ate our lunch.
Come on, Brandon.
This is the winner of the long jump contest.
This is the winner of the long.
water, so they can say they played in one of the Great Lakes.
share a little bit about this room with you. It's so good. It's so hard not to reach out. Even the eggs aren't real.
They are?
No. But this is,
Sure look at them.
they sure do. I'm bad as the children. I tell you what I have trouble with. Every day I want to feel those huckleberries or whatever they are. I expect them to be ready to make pies with, I guess, but they still stay hard. Still no good. But this was called a keeping room, and it got its room from a tradition that they had in Europe. Many of the people in those days met and called their main room the keeping room, and some of those people came from Europe, and the tradition came, so this was their keep, or their keeping room. Main family room. Now, this fireplace is original. Can't you just see Mrs. Johnson and Mrs. Smith in here fixing dinner? I can. You can almost smell her pies. They cook here. Oh, these old bricks are original to the home, and this is her. I'm afraid to move it because I can see it's very well worn, but they moved this arm out so they could stir their food there. And this is the only thing that has been added because you can see how it started to crack, and if they hadn't have put this on, it may have been ruined and wouldn't have been worth showing you. And beside this, you probably have you been to the Whitney store?
Mm-hmm,
And
yes.
they told you about the bake
Yes,
oven.
they did.
Well, I have to brag on it. They don't have one like this one. This is the biggest one. 18 large loaves could be baked in there at once. 18. You'll have to take a look at that. It's almost unbelievable. They're just teeny little things. There's hardly any furnishings in here you might gather are just of the period of time. None of the things are original things that the Johnsons themselves used. Only of the things that you think they would have had. And this bed here doesn't happen to be the prophet's bed, but he did sleep in a bed like that. Because this was the bedroom that they gave him and Emma to use. Look again at the size of the room, you know? And at this time, those little twins that I talked to you about were not a year old. And they had the measles. They'd been awfully sick. And you know, when you guys are sick, Mom and Dads have to get up a lot at night, and, you know. It's nuts when you're the worst, isn't that right? Mm-hmm.
Is that bed?
Crankiest one that night. And that's just what happened. This happened to be March the 24th of 1832. Now that doesn't mean much to you guys right now, but this is the home that the prophet Joseph Smith was in when the mob came and took him out of the house, and when he was taken down into a meadow and he was tarred and feathered. When you read church history, this is the home where the prophet happened to be when the mob came in. This is the bedroom, as near as they can figure where he was. This door here is the front door where a bunch of men ran in. Now this night he'd gotten the little boy asleep, laid him on the bed. The prophet lay down on the trundle here. This is what it was called in those days, trundle bed. And he slept only for a short while because he was awakened. Emma evidently had heard someone come into the house or some confusion or something. And she ran and looked just as a group of about 12 men burst in the door and ran in here, grabbed the prophet, took him by his arms and his legs and actually his hair, and they dragged him out of the house before anyone else in the house was awake because the Johnsons' bedrooms were all back toward the back of the house. Someone knew exactly where the prophet was. Someone knew exactly when it was quiet enough, knew exactly the right time to come, but they rushed in. There were other men out in the yard gathered. They said that probably about 40 to 50 men were in this mob. About 12 happened to run in to get him. They had their faces all blackened, and they were feeling pretty good because someone had supplied them with some whiskey that made them very excited. They were angry and probably made them more cruel than they would have been if they hadn't been all stirred up that night. But they dragged the prophet out, and I like to tell this story, guys, because they got him to the front door here, and he got one of these legs loose, and then he just kicked one of them and sent him sprawling outside there. But the man he kicked was one of the strongest men in the area. The prophet got him with one good wallop, belted him right in the face, and I really like to tell that story.
The man that had kicked, though, jumped up and he said, "Don't let this guy touch the ground or we'll never hold him." He realized the strength of the prophet. He figured, boy, if anybody can kick me like that with just one leg, what would he do with both of them on the ground? So he warned them not to let him touch the ground. Now, as they dragged the prophet down toward the meadow, he also saw Sidney Rigdon, his bride that I told you, that was over here. He saw him lying on the ground because the mob had gone into his home shortly before this and taken him out and tarred and feathered him. But they dragged Sidney along by his legs and held onto his heels and dragged him along so that his head bumped along on the ground. He was injured very severely and so much that he never recovered his health completely after. His head was concussions.
I was just reading the new book by Carl Anderson. I think it's a very good account of that. And it said that Joseph, when he seen him, he thought he was dead.
Yes.
He was sure that he was dead.
Yes.
But he wasn't.
Nothing he could do, but he was injured seriously, never recovered completely as far as mental health went. Maybe that's what explains Sidney's actions later.
Might have been, you know.
I like to give him credit for that. But anyway, he continued down to the meadow with him, and they got him down there and stripped him of all of his clothing except for a big, high, stiff collar that he wore. They left that on him, but they actually scratched his body from head to toe with their fingernails, just till he was torn and bleeding. Well, one man said, the man he kicked, he just thrust his old hand into the prophet's face and said, "This is the way the Holy Ghost falls on me," and then just scratched him all over until he was bleeding. That must have been a lot of scratching to make your flesh open and bleed just from fingernail scratching. But they also beat the prophet too, and they strangled him too. And so he was in pretty bad shape when they got him to the meadow. He actually did plead for his life. He actually did. And they got him down there, and that wasn't enough, so they had tried to put something into his mouth. There was a little tube of something, maybe poison acid of some sort that they wanted to poison the prophet with. They tried to force that into his mouth, and he bit the little tube and chipped his tooth, and then the stuff ran out on the ground. The prophet's chipped tooth caused him to speak with a little bit of a whistle or a little bit of a lisp when he spoke after that because of the air going through the crack in his tooth. But anyway, they didn't get that done, so they did decide to put tar all over him, and they stuck feathers in it, and then one of them in the mob said, "Okay, lift up your head and let me give you some tar." And so they dipped an old paddle into tar and spread it across the prophet's mouth and across his nose, thinking he would suffocate. And then they thought their problems would be all over. Do you know why they came in and got the prophet that night? Do you understand why they wanted to be so mean to him? The main thing is because of the new religion that he talked about. Another thing, people heard that there was this prophet here was seeing things in this house, that he was receiving visions and revelations here, and they were a little bit upset about it. Another thing, the church was growing rapidly, and they were afraid it was going to take control of all of the things politically, so they figured if they killed the prophet, the church would fail and no more problems. And that was the main reason why they were so mean to him when he was typifies what they would have had in their dining room in this period of time. Here again, none of the real Johnson things. The Johnson family sold this home just within a few years before the Kirtland Temple was built. They sold their home in the ground. They moved to Kirtland because many of the early converts did that. And they gave the prophet money to pay the mortgage on the French farm there. And that is where the temple was built. They gave him the money to pay the mortgage on. From the money they had.
All they had to close it was born sooner than this.
February. And the month before the prophet was tarred and feathered. That happened to him in March, so the meeting here was in February. Before, there were a group of men in the room, about 12 men, having a meeting here. Now the prophet was very concerned at this time about some of the scriptures he had been reading. Besides compiling his revelations, he was revising the Bible, studying it very hard, because he said, unless we understand the scriptures, we can no way obtain salvation. And he felt that there were things that had been left out in the very many translations of the Bible, things that we needed to know. Very concerned, he was especially wondering about what happened when we leave this life. Questions. In the scriptures it says that in my Father's house are many mansions, and then it also, we read about the Apostle Paul when he's speaking to his people, and he talks about the glories of the sun and the moon and the stars and how they're all different, brighter, some are brighter. And the prophet thought, well, this must have something to do with the resurrection. And then he read in John in chapter 5, there was a verse in there that said, if you're good, you'll be resurrected to, the just will be resurrected to the good place, and those who are not, or who are unrighteous, will be resurrected unto damnation. And when he read that, that sounded like only two places where we would go, either a heaven or a hell, and that's what people believed, and they still, many do, except for us. Many religions today still think that, but we have all these other things we know. But the prophet was concerned, desired a knowledge of these things, and when he read that one particular verse at this meeting, you know something what happened here? The Savior himself appeared in vision to the prophet and described this meeting. No one else in the room saw them, just those two. And there was a man, though, who kept a journal, and his name happened to be Philo Dibble. And in his journal he said that the prophet's clothing all of a sudden looked white to him, and that his countenance was changed, his face looked different. That Sidney Rigdon appeared to be very weak and tired and limp, and no one else spoke. You can pretty well be sure of that, no one did. And this impression lasted well over an hour, and no one said anything except once in a while the prophet and Sidney would question each other. They would say, do you see what I see? And then the other one would answer, and then the Sidney would ask the prophet, and he would answer him. So they were given to know, this man understood whatever they were seeing, it was the same thing, and whatever it was, they were seeing the same vision. Now this lasted well over an hour, like I said. The Savior was teaching them at this time. And they saw the past and they saw the future, and got a glimpse of many things. Among those things, they saw the Savior sitting on the right hand of his Father. That's where it always says he is, and they saw that. They saw angels all around. They saw the spirit world and understood that we're all sons and daughters of our Father and Mother in heaven. They knew that. They saw how the earth was created. They understood that the Savior did it, but his Father told him how he wanted it done, just like your parents and grandmom and dad tell you what they'd like you to do. The Savior got his instructions. And they saw Satan, you know. They saw him in the council in heaven, and they saw his fall from heaven, and they also saw what happened to those people who Satan has in his power. That's not too good. But they were shown all of these things during this space. On many other things they were told not to mention. But before the vision faded to their, was close to their understanding, the Savior said, now write the things you've seen and heard, while you can still remember them. So when the vision closed, the Sidney and the prophet said to these men here, now, this is the testimony, last of all, that we give of him that he lives. For we saw him, even on the right hand of God, and heard the voice bearing record that he is the only begotten of the Father, that of him, through him, and by him the worlds are, and they were created. Inhabitants thereof are begotten sons and daughters unto God. Now, when we're reading that, let Grandpa see.
I'll try to take it in there and find it.
That's a scissors method of construction. They're raised.
This is only
Yeah, I noticed your cross.
Okay.
out here.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
still get our water supply here
Do
from
you?
the well.
Oh, this is still your water?
It's smaller around because in 1930 or somewhere in Ohio, they passed a law that said if you're using water from a well domestically, it has to be encased.
Oh.
So they put the casing down and put the pump in then, and that made it about half the width it was in the beginning.
Is this drinking water too?
Yes, it is.
They keep it tested, I suppose.
They sure do. He comes
Hey,
in the house,
That's
goes
bigger
through,
than Grandpa's sister name.
listen to how long it takes to hear that water splash, okay? Now listen. Now, look down in there and see the water rippling? Now, if we were using the water, if the pump was on, that would ripple just like that as it came in to the house. It goes through a water softener now. And outside, there's a hydrant that comes directly from the well. If you had any thing to put water in, you could get some out of it if you wanted.
We've got the
You have
container.
some family on the steps there too, if you haven't already.
Yeah, I hope I have one picture left on my.
Yeah, we should have got it with our film.
I didn't realize this was your phone.
Well, anyway, the things, this house wouldn't be important at all if it weren't for the things that happened in it. That's what makes it so important to us.
What hours are the sale is it open?
Usually in the morning,
This is where the prophet Joseph Smith stood when he would teach his Sunday sermons. This is where he taught the sermon on brotherly love. As members of the mob were in the congregation that had tarped and feathered him the night before. So you guys are standing where the prophet Joseph Smith stood. That's the original concrete steps.
Why don't you get a sweetie pie?
Oh, you found the earring, didn't you? You find an earring? Oh.
Yeah, get Grandpa a kiss.
Is that a pretty earring?
Leave Grandpa out.
Oh, that's a pretty earring.
Oh, hi, Dad. Hi, Dad.
Try to get Bobby. Yes, you will. I know you push it.
I don't need to.
I know I do. That bright earring. Is that what the problem is?
Daddy, get us. Daddy,
That's
get us.
Kristen.
Daddy, oh, I know. Thank you.
Let's get down. He's taking his
Kristen,
picture.
come with us. Daddy, get us. Daddy, get us. Oh, we have to get off the
Oh my gosh. Hey,
Is your name
Kelly?
Roger?
Daddy, get us.
Where'd you run your face at?
Daddy, get us. We want to do it.
Yeah, that's mine. That's mine. That's mine. That's mine. He's trying to get me to put my cigarette out here.
Yeah. Make everybody self-conscious here.
Right. Quit coming here.
Mom, Dad, get us please now.
Everybody hate cameras like this.
Dad, get back. Daddy is not in it.
Oh,
Can't ruin everything. Let that girl never cry.
Sorry, thank you. They'll make a light out of me every time, won't they? Yeah.
Never cry.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look there.
Come here, sweetheart.
Till she gets the picture taken.
I'm gonna let you have my earring.
With Daddy?
No, that's she's fine.
Yeah, we gotta get
Boy, this thing's long.
She's a picky baby, too.
You go get your picture taken.
Because life's to sleep in her own bed.
Did you go get your picture taken?
You can get me.
Come on by.
Bye-bye. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Look out.
There it goes again.
I just want to
See you all later. Bye. Can you call Daddy?
Straight. Straight.
She's not going. Stand.
This is the Harding Memorial, where President Harding was buried. Right now it's under renovation, I guess. They've been working on it. Right up in there, I think that's where Rhonda says President Harding and his wife were buried. There's one. The other one's right over in here. Pillar's kind of in the way. Hi, friend.
$7. And how much money is that? Is that
$783,108.50.
Is it really say 50 cents? Yes, right there. It says .50.
His wife died here. He owned the Daily Star.
What's that?
Yeah.
Very What will you give me? Sit down. Or back. Get me a stick down. Like that. You say, what will you give me? What will you give me if I get Let you down. That's what I said. Back. What will you give me if I let you down? Back. What? Back. What will you give me if I let you down? Back. Whatever. What will you give me if I let you down? Back. Back. You hold me up. You up.
You ready? What you can sound way, we won't run over you. Yeah. Okay. Grab my foot and I'm hang on. Whoop! Come on, you can make it. Because if I got scooted out here, I'd have been right down there. Okay. Let's go over here.
Hi, Van. You gonna go down the slide? Okay, come on down.
All right, we'll go down here and go down the slide.
Wait, I'll have to scoot over some then. Go to Kristen, you can. I was just here. Oh, I have to hold on this one. I'll have to hold it down, and Gary will have to hold it down. Is this good? And then Becky sits right there. Yeah. Yeah. And Becky sits right here. And me, make sure you're in there good. Okay. Not yet. Here. Okay. Now hold on to the seat. Yet. I stood in here closer. Tiffany. Guys, but then. Don't get so close to me.
You guys, if Tiffany's scared, put her down close and let Kristen go out high.
Let's go. Let's get Tiff. Just hold on. Tiff's real high. Tiff's the highest. She's getting lower now, Kristen. Now Tiffany. Becky is. Hey, Scott, you gotta keep it that way.
Chica, so that's the way you do this.
When I start after Baby goes, I love it. Hey, Scott, let go. Don't cry, you're on camera. Oh, way too fast. Yes, way too fast. Really fast, please.
This is Grandma and Grandpa Mahaffey's house, where we've been staying for the last week.
Oh, this is terrible. Really?
They don't know what I'm saying. In the bathroom.
In the bathroom. In the bathroom. Mommy, Mommy. Now, this way.
Turn on the light for me.
Okay. This is
And then move out of the way.
the girls used to sleep in. Tiffany. The names of Tiffany. The names of Becky. The names of Tiffany. But now, you know, that room's gone. Brianna. Hi, Daddy. Well, he's not recording the room now.
Well, last night we drove from Ohio through Indiana to Carthage, Illinois. And this is the entrance to Carthage Jail, historical site where we're getting ready to go.
Prisoners in. So we do have two cell rooms in where the prisoners would go. Also, the rest of the rooms are where the jailer's family lived. This room in here is the jailer's family dining room. This is where the jailer's wife, Mrs. Stiegel, would serve the meals to her family. Now, occasionally she could serve the prisoners too. And she did serve at this table here. Joseph Smith and Harm ate 2 or 3 meals in here in 2.5 days they were in jail. If you have any questions as we go through here, folks, we'll ask the question then, we might, so you won't forget about them. Let's go around the other room here. We'll tie these 2 rooms together here. Little fireplace there. They cook the meals. And, of course, like I say, she cooked also for the prisoners as well as her family. And we have 4 original doors in here. This door here is the original wood door. So is that one by you there, sir, and also the one we just walked in from outside. The other one's upstairs in the jailer's family bedroom. We'll talk about that when we go up there. As far as it's important to play in here. Let's go back here now to this first cell room. County names their cells these days, evidently. They call this the debtor's cell. That's probably when they put some minor person that just committed a minor infraction, like not owing any money, or not paying his money, or something like that. On June the 24th of 1844, when Joseph and Hiram came over here to Carthage from Nauvoo, they spent the first night in the Hamilton House Hotel. There's a nice hotel in downtown Carthage. The building's not standing there anymore, but the next morning when they got up there and came over. This is the way the jail was built in 1839 by the county, so you see there's not much light in here. Also, the ceiling up here is hand-hewn oak logs, a very secure type room in here. The oak logs up here are very hard wood, and it's hard to, you would have a hard time chipping your way out of there. The same with the walls. These walls measure 26 inches thick here at the top, all solid limestone walls. Now this room has historic interest for 3 reasons. The first thing is on the 25th of June, when Joseph and Hiram turned themselves in from the Hamilton House Hotel, the jailer Rudy brought them up here first and locked them in this room for about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. Then for some reason the jailer changed his mind and put him back down the debtor's cell. Now we're not sure why he changed his mind, except the jailer did know that Joseph and Hiram had not committed any serious crime yet. They'd only been charged for a crime, hadn't had a hearing yet. So he did put them back downstairs and keep them up here overnight. The second thing about this room we talked about, this is now the 27th of June, 2 days later. We have 4 prisoners in the jailer's family bedroom, the room right next to us here. The jailer came up to talk to Joseph Smith in his bedroom. And he said something to the effect, "I'm concerned about your safety today, because the mob's causing some problems out in the street. I want to lock you in the cell room next door." That'd be this room in here. And Joseph Smith agreed that'd be fine with them. In fact, they agreed on sometime after supper. We know now supper time would have been too late, because supper time was around 6 o'clock, and the mortar in the bedroom had about 5:16. So Joseph and Hiram never had a chance to come here then on the 27th of June. The third thing we talked about did happen in here on the 27th of June. This is after the martyrdom now. We have both the prophet and Hiram have been killed now in the bedroom. John Taylor's been, the third prisoner there, has been shot 4 times and he's seriously hurt. And the 4th prisoner in the other room hasn't been hurt, and he's Willard Richards. Now the mob left the jail for a while. And when the mob left, Willard Richards came, he got a hold of John Taylor, brought him in the room in here, opened the door right here, took him back in this far room, or excuse me, far wall over here, and hid him underneath the mattress. Now, what Woodard Richards thought was, if the mob comes back and shoots me, maybe John Taylor will go unnoticed in the cell room by the mob. He might live to tell the story. What happens then, folks, the mob doesn't come back here anyway. The tape I play in the other room will tell us all this, and it kind of tied in together and tell you why the mob didn't come back. And both Woodard was laid on the floor by the mob, so he had 4 bullets in him, John Taylor did. He was seriously hurt, but it wasn't life-threatening. This is also the same one the prophet comes to here. The tape will tell you what happened to him. This is the same one over here, folks. I'll play this tape, but if you have any questions after the tape, while you can ask the questions later.
June 27, 1844, dawned cloudy and wet in Carthage. By mid-morning, the air was hot and humid. The prisoners received a few visitors. They also read, conversed, and wrote letters. Joseph wrote to his wife.
Dear Emma, I am very much resigned to my lot, knowing I am justified and have done the best that could be done.
Who so humbly for relief that I could never answer nay. I had not power to ask his name, where to he went, or whence he came. Yet there was something in his eye that won my love. I knew.
Where the prophet Joseph Smith landed when he fell out the window. When he was killed.
Try to get the whole building.
The top window up there is the window that he fell out of. Now, after the many testimonies which have been given of him, Jesus Christ, this is the testimony last of all which we give of him, that he lives. For we saw him even on the right hand of God, and we heard the voice bearing record that he is the only begotten of the Father, that by him and through him and of him the worlds are and were created, and the inhabitants thereof are begotten sons and daughters unto God. The strongest what?
Feeling of his presence, of Joseph Smith's presence.
This is the buggy ride that takes a tour of Nauvoo, historical sites. As soon as our driver gets back, we'll be taking off. There comes our driver.
When the Latter-day Saints started moving in here to build Nauvoo. Part of Commerce, Illinois, and then later incorporated into Nauvoo. Here on the right is some of the private property. Mr. Carter owns that and lived there about 50 years. He's usually a fine gardener. But he has a different philosophy than I do. He never watered his garden. He said once you start that, you have to keep it up, and he didn't want to be tied down. So he prays for rain a lot. Over here on the right, the building was built in 1903 as a 2-room schoolhouse. The RLDS Church owns that, and they put a chapel on there. And they used that as a chapel for many, many years. So you know the hero we're talking about, he was a good friend of Abraham Lincoln. Over here on the right, the first building, the editor of those publications, he But this little wagon on the front of the shop here is unique because it has the name of every part of the wagon written right on it. Everybody needs to visit the blacksmith shop. They can all the books that they own left in the wagon. I need to
Kill the horse. Yeah. They were like $1 million.
Like that, Brandon?
You getting sweaty already?
I'm sorry. I can get up with that.
Brandon.
Here's the horse from the jump.
It's 75 degrees. 75 degrees it feels
Take him around the custody of the horse.
Not behind the horse. Not behind the horse, Scotty.
They're Morgan and Percheron cross.
Didn't Tiffany already get on it?
She wants to be by herself. She had to be with her.
Wow, no.
You want to get on, Chris?
Just for a little. I'm glad you get back.
Stay away from the back of the horse, Tiffany.
That'd be the whole and they started to go. And go high with the fun as
Yeah, I'll
Well,
That's what I thought.
Everybody just make a guess if you want. That's kind of fun. Somebody said a penguin the other day because you can't tell what the feet look like. But it's whatever you say it is. That's what's fun about guessing over cookies.
Gunsmithing was his trade, and he and his family turned it into a very famous and profitable business.
To have guns, not only to protect their family, but to buy rounds. What they would do is instead, over here is a single shot boot pistol. These two items here did not belong to the Browning. Very hot, and as this one cooled down, they would have to put it back in the fire and get it hot. So, when it was hot, they'd pick it up and they would pound it like this, turn it to make it round. When it got smaller, get up here, they'd put the rod in. Here. Now this is where I'm going to have to help me, okay? Once they would pick up this forming hammer like this. You pick up that gun and hit the top of this hammer. Hit right here with that, okay? Then one person would hold it down here and the other give us the things that are to liking. Okay. Oh, can you see it? Okay.
Ryan, you just make me.
This thing's hot here. You folks seen the show that they have over here? Joseph Days? You seen that yet? Tomorrow night? No? Gonna be out tomorrow night?
Well, it's great to have you here. This is the brickyard. Maybe it doesn't look much like a brickyard normally. Now, if you want to work, you let us know because we are hiring. We pay 50 cents a day for 10 hours work. That's what they used to earn. Imagine that, 5. In this area, it was called Commerce. It even had a different name. And Joseph Smith changed the name of it to Nauvoo, which means beautiful place. And that's what they did, was to work to make it a beautiful place. And Briggs helped do that. Now, as they were digging their cellars for their houses, they came across a layer of clay. Now, clay looks kind of like just plain old yucky dirt, only it's a little bit grayish and a little bit tan like that. And it's hard. When you start digging into it, it's like digging cement down. And they said, maybe we can make bricks with that. And that's what they tried to do. Now, they took a lot of that clay and they put it in a pit.
Put it back where it was at, old boy. Yeah, you have to put it back where it was because they mowed down there.
Whole thing. Do this.
Down there if you want. If Mom and Dad don't care.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if it'd be appropriate or not.
Yeah. Here.
Don't run around though, guys. Scott, grab Brandon. Is that a hole?
That's a well, but there's a weather beat. That little pipe we're standing on right there was the original drain from the baptismal font.
Go look over there, Brandon. See the
Kristen, tell me if you know what they got water, please. That thing right there. What's that? Yeah, I don't know. But it's the river. There.
I'd have to go from here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here.
Kristen,
Mom, what is this place? This is Adam-on-Diamond. This is the valley of Adam-on-Diamond. This is where Adam, this is Tower Hill. Yeah, this is where they go. I went up the river's right over there that they're talking about.
38. Joseph Smith, the first modern day prophet of the Church of Jesus. Jesus, where am I? Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints came to this area.
Is this where they got cast out?
With
or
what?
Where they were cast out.
Dad, what does this word say?
What are these 3 words for?
Kristen, what does this S word say? Where? Serving parties.
There were 2 heavily barred openings in each side. With the exception of the door, there was no other means of ventilation. The rock walls are 2 feet thick, and in building them, a space of about 1 foot was left between the rock and timber, which space was filled up with loose rock. Thus, it will be seen that the prison walls are virtually 4 feet thick. Several loads of rock were also placed on top of the log ceiling in order to make escape through the roof impossible.
Joseph Smith and the 5 other prisoners, Sidney Rigdon, Hiram Smith, Lyman White, Caleb Baldwin, and Alexander McRae, arrived at the jail on the 30th of November, 1838. An eyewitness account recorded the following.
They were all in one large, heavy wagon with a high box, which, as they proceeded, hid from view all of their forms except from a little below the shoulders. The inhabitants of Liberty and many from the surrounding country were out to witness the entrance of the prisoners into the place, and many expressed their disappointment that the strangers should so resemble all other men. The prisoners left the wagon and immediately ascended the south steps to the platform around which no banisters were constructed. The door was open. One by one, the prisoners entered. The prophet Joseph Smith was the last. He turned partly around with a slow and dignified movement and looked upon the multitude. Then, turning away and lifting his hat, he said in a distinct voice, "Good afternoon."
Comfort to all those who suffer unjustly. My son, peace be unto thy soul. Thine adversity and thine affliction shall be but a small moment.
now, here. It's okay. I was almost dry, but it's okay. Take in the water. I thought you wanted to get out of the water. Let's go cook a hot dog on a fire. Little Miss Trim.
Getting some nice shots there. That's a nice shot there.
Knife to open this with.
I already gave it to Grandpa. Look, he's got it in his pocket. See? He's wondering what I did with the glue. I gave him to Grandpa. Ouch. Getting a good shot of you, Grandpa Jim.
There's two kinds, barbecue and onion. Anybody want a hot dog?
Yeah. I want. Can I take off my shoes since they're soaking? We're not in the water.
No, your feet will get hurt.
Grandpa.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, I forgot.
You okay, Christy?
I'll get them tomorrow if you tell me again. Real hot. I got potato chips. And bananas.
I wonder what this is doing to water. Grandpa!
Can I show you a good way to do it?
Grandpa! Come over down the file. Grandpa! Come over down the file.
Do what?
Come over down the file.
Can you put that on the fire?
Yeah.
Yes, he can put it on the fire.
You can put it on the fire!
Put the metal on the fire?
Yeah!
Oh, the steel pipe? I thought it was a piece of wood.
No, don't put all of it.
That won't burn.
That won't burn,
Well, he didn't know what it was. I don't want this knocking food on my hot dog right now. Wait till my hot dog comes. We'll get you a stick and we'll fix it up. Might even take it there by the food paste, honey. Have smoke from the metal. You ready for one? Turkey wiener. Smoky? Smoky, you can have one. Smoky or turkey wiener? You can. You're not baby anymore. You're a big girl.
One enemy!
Huh? Which one do you want? Smoky?
Then water right here real fast.
Okay, Brandon, let me cool this off.
Water right there
And I'll put a hot dog on.
Pulling this off.
y'all taking pictures of each other? Another one? You want to see?
Daddy.
Kids are taking them. Oh, okay. Over there cooking them.
Daddy.
Okay, you want a real wiener?
What is
For Brandon. He might eat that. He might like it better than Smokey, might he? Yeah, he might.
Daddy,
It's a turkey
mine,
wing.
Daddy. Daddy.
Yes, Tiffany.
Mine, Daddy.
No, it's okay. Just hold it over the fire and it makes it clean. Here, Brandon, there, go cook yours. Oh, don't put it on the log, just hold it up in the air. You got to get it a little closer than Charlotte. You want Daddy to fix it for you, Brandon?
That look cooked enough. This look cooked enough. There, don't mind stay. Come on. Come on. So good, Brandon.
See if it tastes good.
Give me that fire.
Fire.
Well, so right.
You wish. Uh-oh.
I love the arm around my neck. Gordon, get your shoes on.
Bottom wet?
look different than that bath. Is Grandpa getting some fuel?
Oh, I got it! Hot.
Yes.
Yeah, I got one! Got one! Cricket! Okay.
We're probably in a minority.
Gary and
Israel.
Charlotte.
Alexa. What'd you say? What'd you say?
Said Gary and Charlotte.
We're not working, we're playing.
This is Kimberly's room. Brandon.
Brandon. He is a Brandon. Sir, by any chance you asked the owner of this tape if you could use their tape?
I did.